New York, unique, unique's New York. You know you need unique New York. Is that right?
A little bit. It's New York's unique. No, wait. Now you're making me question myself. New York's unique.
There's apostrophe at the first New York.
Unique New York. It starts with unique New York.
Unique
New York's
New York.
unique.
New York's unique. You know you need unique New York. Okay, let's do that again. Unique New York. New York's unique. You know you need unique. I was fucking that up. Okay, what's the other one? Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
You got that one. Okay.
Okay.
And you remember the box of biscuits?
Oh, bitch, no.
A box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits, and a biscuit mixer.
A box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits, a box of...
And a biscuit mixer.
Oh, okay.
A box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits, and a biscuit mixer.
A box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits, and a biscuit mixer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's say it together. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. A box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits, and a biscuit mixer.
You're making me mix up. Okay.
What's the purpose of this shit again?
It's supposed to help you enunciate and say your words clearly so that you aren't mumbling whenever you have like a big speaking engagement or an acting.
And this is what they teach y'all in film school.
Yeah, if you go like to any like acting class or acting school or workshop or whatever, a lot of times they'll do warm-ups before they actually get into the teaching material so that, you know, it's warming up your mouth. It's the tip of your, the lips, the teeth, the tip of your tongue is another warm-up. And that's what you're warming up. You're warming up your lips, your teeth, and your tongue to make sure that you're not speaking all like, you know, nobody wants to hear that. We don't know what you're saying. So it's just to make sure you speak clearly. Okay,
let me try it from New York. Okay. Unique New York. New York's unique. You know you need unique's New York. Mm-hmm. A box of biscuit. Okay, shit. A box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits, and a biscuit mixer.
Mm-hmm. You got it. You just need to say it a little faster. So there's another one that I didn't teach you prior. This one's a little hard. I have to think about it when I say it so I don't mess it up. So it's a big black bug bit a big brown bear, and the big brown bear bled blue blood.
Like, why do my jaws feel sore from that?
Because you're not used to warming your mouth up for
like my
speaking.
jaws hurt. Like I've been doing.
Right.
I've been at it for too long.
Just like exercise. So
okay.
I'm used to vocal activity. It's a part of theater exercises and things like that.
So I should probably do that for radio, like warm up my mouth in that way.
Before a public speaking occasion. But it's just to warm your mouth up because you don't want to go in front of anybody of importance.
Okay.
And start mumbling and start, you know, stuttering.
Unique New York. New York uniques. You know you need unique New York.
Yes.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Warm you up.
Okay, people. So you're listening to another episode of a Daydreamers podcast. I am the Daydreamer, Erin Ashley Davenport, and the person you are hearing that is giving me acting voice warm-up lessons is one of my closest friends, and I'll go ahead and say best friends for the purpose of this episode, Monique Morton Daracel.
Hello.
And if you listened before, you heard her on episode 3, a screenwriter in a sugarcane field. Y'all, real quick before we get even more into it, please make sure y'all are subscribing to me on YouTube where you can get all the visuals, okay? Subscribe and like on YouTube. Also, on if you're listening to me on iTunes, please rate me. That's the only way iTunes knows how fabulous I am. Also, I'm streaming on TuneIn Radio and SoundCloud. Subscribe and like and share from there. Okay, people? So like I said, last time she was on the show, she was briefly, hesitantly talking about one of her projects She's a screenwriter. She's an actress, improver, karaoke enthusiast. No, it was karaoke queen, happy hour enthusiast, and things like that. But you were writing, and I was helping you. I was helping you cast for a TV pilot. Please update everybody on that because I'm super excited about it. And I want people to know about it.
Yes, well, you can go on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and follow YPR, Young Professional and Ratchet. That's the name of the TV show that I co-created with my friend and partner, Dorina Marie. And what that is a TV show that we're trying to see if, somebody might want to pick it up, and see that it's
somebody like who? Like Netflix, HBO, Hulu?
All of the above.
Okay. And I helped people. I helped cast for this.
Yeah.
She paid me with margaritas and queso, so I'm cheap. If y'all have any projects out there, you need some assistance with it, all I need is a 2-for-1 margarita, queso, and salsa.
Right. Anywho, so it's basically about a young woman living in Los Angeles who is an aspiring screenwriter. And she's just living her life, being young, professional, and ratchet.
We've all been there before. We've all been there. I'm actually still there.
Yeah, a little bit. Wait, I am too.
Yeah.
But you want to start asserting yourself in this professional environment, and you, as we know, people of color, you start to become the person who is not like everyone else, and so you have to assimilate. And then you have people who are, saying weird things and, how black people this and, asking you weird questions about like you are the spokesperson for your race.
Right.
And you don't know if you should be like, bitch, why are you asking me this? Or if you should just really
go ahead and speak for the people.
Professionally, answer the question, yes, for your people.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
I
understand what you're saying, but you know what? Actually, I've never had to do that because I've always only professionally, I've had a slew of part-times, but professionally I've only worked with black people. So I've never actually had to do that.
I have.
Although I will say this, my coworker, I got a whole bunch of part-time jobs, people. My coworker at the new place that I'm part-timing at, she was my assistant manager at Express when I worked for a discount. Now I work part-time for a decent minimum wage, and it's $11 an hour. So hell yeah, I'll be all up in there spraying lotion and bath and body work products on you for $11 an hour. But we were talking about my hair. I was saying something I need to get my hair done. I was going through that whole conversation. And she kept kind of looking at me like, huh? Like she was looking at the top of my head, but it didn't seem like she was getting it. And so I was steady talking about getting my hair done, this and that. She was like, well, how long is it going to take? And I was like, oh, well, if I do my hair, it'll probably be an hour or more because I'm doing it and I don't want to. But if somebody else does it, it'll probably be 30 minutes if I get my hair done. And for those that are listening that don't know me, that's your first time listening, I have locks. So she was like, oh, and she was kind of confused type, and she was like, so you have to take all that down? I was like, take all what down? Because I'm confused at that question.
Right, you don't know.
And then I realized she had no idea what my hair was because she was thinking I had braids. And I'm like, my hair is in locks. Nothing is braided in my hair. So I had to go through the whole conversation of explain. And it wasn't an issue, but I had to go through the whole conversation of explaining what a lock was and the process of just retwisting new growth. What is new growth? Girl, you get new growth too, but it just grows in the same fashion as your hair is right now. My hair is manipulated in a sense. But after we go through all of that and she realized that my hair was my hair, not braids, not extensions, and that, yeah, you can comb out locks, but I won't do that. She proceeds to be like, oh, well, let me talk to you about my black friend. Her black friend was mixed. And so I told her, I said, girl, don't be showing me. And after I saw the picture of her black friend, I was like, girl, don't be showing me this white girl. And she's like, no, she's mixed with I said, that girl hair don't look nothing like mine. It ain't the same texture. It don't crink up the same. It don't curl up the same. Don't come showing me that. We laugh about it now, but I was like, girl, don't come showing me this white girl hair. Her hair ain't nothing like mine. That's the only time I've had to be
trying to
correct someone that had no idea
them.
exactly on what was going on with me.
That happens to me a lot.
It never happened with
A
me.
lot.
That's the first time. That was just like
Yeah.
last year.
Like, straight out of college, my first job was at, like, I worked at the mall for like 6 months at stores, but my first like real job, I would say that I was full time making benefits, that type of stuff, like an hour lunch break.
Right.
My first job like that was at a credit union, and so straight up, it was like a lot of black people that worked there, but it was probably 60-40 of like white to black.
Okay.
And so it was like a lot of black people that worked there, but we were not in the majority. We weren't even half. And most of the people who were in decision-making positions, supervisory positions, were of the Caucasian persuasion.
Right.
So, you just have to kind of like take it as it is. I remember I was working there when Barack Obama was elected, and there was a straight like divide in the office.
Just because of race? Just because of race?
Just because people, people are people.
Yeah.
And white folks are white folks.
Yeah.
And in this particular moment in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the white folks were not liberal.
Okay.
And so it's just like, you just got to hold your tongue. You gotta like not say nothing, but secretly in the break room, all the black folks like, yeah, Barack Obama,
right?
Right. But you just gotta hide that. You can't be as vocal as you want to, and so people would say some shady shit, and they would ask you questions about your hair. Like I went natural when I was working at that credit union.
I remember,
and that was questions about that. Can I touch it? It's so
I've never had anybody try to touch my hair.
It's like, well, what you expected? They expected it to feel like a Brillo pad, but it was soft, and so it was just like little shit like that. So anyway, all of this
has to do with
this show.
This is the basis of your show, kinda. Okay, of the show you've wrote, and produced.
Myself and my partner Dorina Marie have experienced, and especially living in Los Angeles, where people are very superficial, but it's a very bougie, liberal city, California too. But people are still closed-minded, and just certain things that people don't know. Or they're now with the certain climate, it's like some folks are like, oh, I'm woke. I understand. I get my black sisters, and this type of thing. And you're like, yeah, to an extent, but
not really.
You're not really doing it right. So it's just focusing on all of that.
So the struggle of coming up in your profession, and also having that balance of just like being real with your friends, and then having to
deal with crazy stuff,
other people not understanding your culture. Right. So okay, let me ask you this real quick. Which one of your characters is me?
She always asks me this, y'all. Like every time I write something, she's just like, "Are you putting me in it? Am I in it?"
Because we're like super close friends, and I know some of the stuff we've done has shown up.
This is the thing. I don't because a lot of the stuff that I write are my personal experiences, but heightened.
Yeah.
Because if I was to write a story about my life, it would be boring as hell. So I have to heighten everything for the entertainment value. So I take pieces of maybe my friends' personalities or stories that my friends have told me or things that I know that they've experienced, and I try to include them into some characters just to make them a little more vibrant or a little more world, what's the word
appealing?
I'm looking for? Sure. Okay. Just make them appealing to everyone.
Okay.
I take, pieces of my friends and put them into certain characters, but I don't make a character a specific person. Like I will never have a character who's Aaron, but I might have a character who has dreads and who says certain things that Aaron might say. But that's not you.
Okay.
That's a make-believe version of you.
So, let me ask you this. So, is your main character is CJ, right?
No, the main character in Young Professional in Ratchet is Jordan. And she is the one who's the aspiring actor.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, not aspiring actor, aspiring screenwriter.
Okay, that's what I had the character. CJ is her best friend.
CJ is her best friend / cousin / roommate.
That's how it is with black folks.
Right, that's how it
when
is.
You live when you grow up in the same area. Right. Okay, let me ask you this. So is CJ a reflection of you? Like, is she bougie? Did she all of a sudden upgrade her wine? Did she all of a sudden upgrade her lettuce? She no longer uses iceberg, and now she's like, where's this spring mix? Is she all of a sudden into like goat cheese and like little toasted toast wedges? Let me tell y'all, Monique came to my house 2 days ago, and we're just like, let's stock up on wine because you're about to be 3 days at my house, nonstop drinking and things like that. Helping, like creating stuff for the podcast. Like I'm pitching her ideas of shit that happened in my life. I'm like, put this in your show, all that. So she's like, oh, are you into goat cheese? I'm like, I love cheese. Let's get some cheese. It don't matter what it is. She comes back with like little toasted wheat bread cracker-like things in goat cheese. Price checked them things at Brookshire's. Them things was too much, so she put them back, got some regular ass cheddar cheese and crackers. But she all of a sudden bougie trying to elevate. Got us drinking some chocolate
Incorrect.
red wine.
Incorrect.
What happened?
I got the goat cheese. I had 2 goat cheese. Okay, first of all, the Brookshire's we went to didn't have prices on nothing.
It's Brookshire's. You ain't never shopped at Brookshire's before? In the fine cheese section?
Prices.
In the fine cheese section?
Yes, they've had prices. But I'm like, how you don't have prices on nothing? So I had 2 different brands of goat cheese. I'm like, what's the prices on these? One of them was cheaper, and so I got that one. And then the little mini Toasteds, I thought they were cute. And I was like, oh,
they were like little mini.
Aaron told me minutes before, I don't do carbs. I'm trying to cut carbs.
I mean,
out.
I do.
So I was like, okay, well, let me get these
sexy.
wheat toasted thingies. I'm trying to look out for her.
I appreciate that.
And then they were like, oh, these little things is like $4.
Think of like miniature slices of wheat bread that are the same size as wheat thins.
But they were so cute.
But
they were too expensive. So I put them back and I went and got some Townhouse crackers
and
that
some
were
regular
ass
cheddar. That was some regular ass cheddar cheese.
And no, it wasn't regular cheddar cheese. I was looking at the brand. I was looking at the Brookshire's brand cheddar cheese, and I was tempted. But then I was like, no, I don't want that. And so I got a next level.
Minutes before that, she was like, I just don't really drink barefoot wine anymore.
I don't.
I've elevated. I'm like, barefoot always been good to me.
No Shutter Home, no Yellowtail. I went up to the next shelf.
But you came back down for that 2 for $4 crackers and regular ass cheddar cheese.
I went up to the next shelf on my wine. Look, man, I'm trying to elevate myself to the next higher stuff.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Okay. Is your main character, what's your main character's name? Jordan. Is that you? Is she bougie or want to be bougie, trying to elevate bougie, but still regular as fuck with the Ritz crackers?
Jordan, that's where the young professional and ratchet comes from. Mm-hmm. If you don't get the name, that's what it is. It's like, okay, I'm young, so I'm like still learning stuff. I'm still learning how to associate myself with people that don't get me, and in a professional environment especially. I'm a professional because I know how to carry myself in a professional manner when I'm at work. But then when I'm at home, it's time to be ratchet. It's time to be with my girls, with my friends, just doing it up, whatever. So yes, you trying to elevate yourself slowly to where you're not drinking box wine no more, but you moved up to the Yellowtail. Okay. And then once you elevate from the Yellowtail, you can start getting on the Josh wine.
I don't even know who Josh is.
It's a brand. I don't know no Joshes. But I know Josh wine.
Okay.
And so it's like, and then once you get from that, you can elevate yourself even higher. You got to build it up. And so that's what the character is of Jordan.
Now, okay, look. So I watched the 15, 30-second trailer on the socials. I watched the 15-minute opener trailer where you really get to see pilot. Mm-hmm. Where you really get to see stuff that happens in the season or whatever. Now, one thing I did notice, I did like it. I could totally, even when I was helping you cast people with the scripts, I could read maybe 15 lines of a particular script, and I could totally identify with this character, or I could tell what was happening because I'm 33 and I still feel young, professional, and ratchet.
Me too.
On the cool. I still feel like I'm on the come up.
Being young is a state of mind.
One thing that I did notice was the code switching. Jordan was code switching like a motherfucker. For real. But this is the thing though. Is it wasn't code switching like she was selling out. She just all of a sudden was like, yeah, girl. And then she was like, hey, how you doing? It wasn't like that. that type of code switching, but it was definitely like some changes in her vocabulary and things like that, and how she said things. So it's like, is it really code switching? And then, or is it like professional voice, or is it like, I just don't really know you that well, so I'm not going to talk to you like I talk to my best friend? And then the other thing was like, when we think of code switching, you're always thinking about, because black people have always had to change themselves to be accepted by white people. But in this case, that wasn't the case with your main character, Jordan. Like, she was code switching with her new boss, who was black, who come to find out was a complete and total sellout. But like, she was code switching with him. So it was like, was she really code switching, or was she just doing her professional voice? Or was she just doing that, I don't really know you like that
it's
voice?
all of the above.
Yeah.
I think when we meet people in a professional environment, especially black folks, we have one way that we talk to our family and friends.
Yeah.
And my mom is a school teacher, and she would always tell me how to talk around mixed company. And I would say, I'm like, well, I'm just talking to you and my sister.
I said the
like
same thing
this.
to my mom. My
And
mom
she's
is
just no.
My mom is the career woman, the
Yes.
businesswoman.
And she's just
I used to
like,
ask her,
no.
she'd be like, no, you don't know. You need to be like this all the time, because when you get in certain settings, you'll forget, or you'll get too comfortable and you fall on slips. You need to be like this all the time.
Exactly.
Not like not be yourself, but don't all of a sudden start talking slang because you know.
Because they're going to think that you're dumb, or you're unprofessional, or that you are feeding into a stereotype that they think all black people are.
Right.
And so it's hard, because as black people in professional environments, you have to appear to be this, you know, particular version of yourself that is educated. Like, you can be educated but still speak slang. You can be all this stuff, but to them, to some white people, I will say, you speaking slang means you're uneducated. And so you have to, and especially in our parents' generation, where there was
50. How old am I? 33. She's 22.
Don't put your mama out there like that. Just say your mama's older. My parents are also older.
She's in her 50s.
My parents grew up in Birmingham during segregation, and they get it. They understand. Please let my children not just get home safely, like car accidents or things like that, but just make sure that no racist white people bother them. And try to like assault them or anything. It's more of that in that particular area. And so I mean, it's stuff that we're still dealing with today. It really is.
I will say this.
Generations.
I will say this. I know when I cut my hair off to be natural, Mom was like, "Oh my gosh, you know, how are you going to be?" You know, but my mom is 55 now, and when I cut my hair off,
I told you don't put your mama out.
She all right with that. She look good. She all right, but she that was, when did I cut my hair off? I was a junior in college. I was like, I could drink. So I thought I was 22. So it's at least 10, 11 years ago.
You cut your hair off, and I cut my hair off like a few months after. So
so my mom
2006,
was, my boyfriend, who's not my husband, had issues with that because I had hair when I had short permed hair like Monica when he went to work. When I came back, I had a bald fade like him. My mom had issues because she was like, what are you going to do when you go look for jobs and stuff? And her thing, I get where she was coming from, because she has been the only black person in a white male corporate room. But I'm also like, Mom, it's not even like that no more. Not knowing that it still is. At that time, it was. Maybe it still is right now. But so we had that clash. And I remember when you cut your hair off for somebody's graduation, and your parents were like, yeah, your older sister. Your parents were like, and I was like, yes, girl, with the little fro, yes. And they was just like, okay.
But no, this was the funny thing. And my aunt, who shall not be named, who may or may not even listen to this podcast, but she asked me at my sister's graduation, she's like, well, what you gonna do? Because I was recently graduated myself. That? It was like 2008.
See, I graduated in 08, and I cut my hair off a year before, so I cut mine off like 06, 07, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 2008.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I cut my hair off after, like, months after you did. So
Yeah.
it's like, boom, boom. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
Erin doing it. She's liberating herself. I want to do the same thing. So, you know, I did it. And so, yeah, my sister graduated. And so all the family came down, aunts, uncles, cousins.
And then your
whatever.
mom is older, but she's the youngest. So
My mom is the
her
youngest of
siblings
8.
are much, much older.
Much older. And so my aunt was like, what are you going to do with, like, in your job interviews? Are you going to put some weave in or whatever, make
Which
it straight?
is crazy because, like, weren't they rocking, like, the massive of afros back then?
I don't know what they was doing back then, them personally. Oh, my mom had an afro at one period of time, but it's still, she just asked, what you going to do when you go to a job interview? I'm like, just wear my hair.
Myself.
And then I got self-conscious about it. So then I did put on a wig.
Well, I didn't.
When I went to a job interview.
I still got self-conscious, but I was like, I'm still going to do this with my big earrings, red lipstick, and shaved head. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what did happen. When I got my undercut in the back, my husband gave me some shit. And I want to say my mom did too. And Larry was just like, what's going to happen when you go look for jobs? And I was like, it's just like 6 rows of dreads, if that. Mm-hmm. Like, I can still wear my hair down. I was like, my hair, because I have designs in the back of my head, it ain't even know, it's not like it's a Jordan sign or like a Fleur-de-Lis sign. It's just like lines in the back or whatever. Like, I'm just like, it shouldn't matter. And he's like, what's your boss going to say? Well, first of all, the director of the place where I work is African-American. He has a tattoo in the middle of his forehead. I have no idea what that was from when he was a young man. Right. But I asked him because I did second guess that. Like, well, did I make a bad decision? And he was like, when I retire in 5 years or so, he was like, I'm gonna put my earrings back in my ear and this and that. He was like, I don't have a problem with it. But he's like, I can see where some people do. He's like, even now, like some people will rather us because he's a director. The place where I work has to deal with the city. He's a director of a city department and stuff. And he was like, people want us to be in like suits. And he was like, I don't mind casual wear, that type of thing. So I was like, that's all I had to hear. So when I went home, I was like, boom, Larry, my boss don't even much care. But at the same time, I get what you're saying.
Like, I get that in a professional environment, in a corporate environment, you have to present yourself a certain way.
The other thing is, though, like, I work in a creative area of my job. So it's like,
that's what I
expect people, like, even my first job out of college was at a production company. And the owner of the company really didn't care about, like, tattoos and piercings and things like that. But, like, when we went somewhere to present our marketing plans to X company or whoever and things like that, we did come correct. But he was just like, he didn't care about stuff like that because he was like, we're creative. And he didn't want to like stifle our creativity.
That's why I'm so happy that I'm in a creative environment.
Oh, I can't wait till me and Larry get our business off the ground. So I can put my nose ring back in, everything.
Right.
I want blonde hair, platinum.
I've always wanted like fire red hair.
I want platinum blonde hair. But anyway, all that to say. But back to like the code switching and stuff and your main character. Like I said, I picked up on that a lot. Mm-hmm. And it was with her friends. It was with her friends' bosses. It was with her boss, whether they were black, white, or Asian.
You just got to present yourself in a
certain ways
that you perceive to be presentable with certain people.
I do check myself to make sure I don't go a couple octaves higher and I don't turn into Valley Girl. Because it's like I don't want to make myself a certain way for these people. Because when I meet different people, they don't change themselves for me. So like, why do I feel the need to do that? So I will check myself and be like, girl, take your voice back down low like it is. I'm animated, but don't turn into a Valley Girl.
Oh my gosh, Erin.
Right. Now, I will say this. I want, if I see something, or like I keep saying bartender, like me and Larry have our favorite bartenders at the various places we go to. So when I see our favorite bartenders, I may not be like, girl, but I may be like, girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not code switching. It's just like, we're on this level.
Yeah.
You know
what I have a phone voice. I have a theater voice.
I have a radio voice. Yes. I have a podcast voice, which is more me.
Yeah. Yeah, I have my theater voice is also my radio voice, which I'm using right now. And which is also I'm meeting new white people for the first time. This is that voice. I just use the same voice, and I just make sure I enunciate clearly. I make sure I might throw a little
that's not because, like, it's white people. It's just because I don't know you. I need you to understand me, or it's my first time meeting.
It's because it's white people.
Really?
Yes.
I really just thought it was because, like,
No, it's because it's white people.
this is how I am when I meet new people. So when you go to functions, if you go to a function with your improv group, who's everybody's white but you, or your theater group, which is everybody's white besides you, and there's like a cheese and fruit tray.
What?
There's a cheese and fruit tray. Will you eat everything on the fruit tray? The kiwi, the strawberry, the grapes, the pineapple, the watermelon, or will you eat everything else on the fruit tray?
But the watermelon. I will not.
I don't even much blame you because when I make my smoothies, I will post whatever smoothie, whatever is in it, the ingredients. But if it got watermelon in it, it's just going to be a picture. I'm not going to tell you the ingredients. I refuse to feed into the stereotype.
Yeah, I do not eat watermelon in front of mixed company. And when I say mixed company, for those that that don't know what that means, it means people of different races
other than black.
Because I don't want to feed into the stereotype.
But it'd be so good though, and I'd be
watermelon.
I want
like
it.
We love. I ain't gonna. This is good. No, I'm not gonna eat watermelon in front of white.
Okay, so real quick before we move on, tell me about new projects. Can you talk about anything new that you're writing or any documentaries that you're doing? Like, what are you doing?
Well, I can talk a little bit about it.
Monique teaches as well, but on to the exciting new projects.
I do all types of things. But, one of the things that I wrote recently, we were up for a grant for Create Louisiana French Film Culture Film Grant. I think I said it correctly. It's a lot of F's in that. But yeah, and so it's like I wrote a script specifically for that.
Yeah.
About a historical place in Louisiana, and I don't want to go deep into what that is.
Don't jinx it.
But yeah, it's a short film script, and it's very good. I love period pieces. I love period pieces featuring people of color, and so that's what it's about. And we're just trying to see where it goes.
Okay. That's all you can tell me right now?
Yeah, that's it, girl. I just got to let things happen as it may.
Okay.
The next time
good.
I'm on the podcast, there may be more information about it.
Okay. Well, you just got more things happening. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Monique is one of my best friends. And let me tell y'all, okay, I don't use the term best friend. I used the term best friend when I was a child. And when I say child, I mean like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. Like, I don't even know if I said best friend. I said best friend up until Carrie moved away in the 6th grade. And after that, I didn't use it because she was technically the best friend up until then. That's Carrie Clark. Hey, girl, I know you listening. Me, Carrie, and Monique went to church together, but Carrie and I went to school together. So we saw each other literally every day besides Saturday, and if we didn't have choir rehearsal or something. But so this episode is going to be about best friends. But I will say this, when I started using it in my adulthood, it was in college. My roommate, and I mentioned her before, Whitney, was my roommate in college, and we were always together. And we ended up being friends because we lived together and things like that. But somebody said to her one day, was like, oh yeah, Erin, that's your best friend, right? And she was like, maybe. Sure. And so she told me about it, and I was like, well, are we best friends? Or is that something that happens? And so from there, we were just like, yeah, we're best friends. I just didn't use that word in adulthood and stuff. Did you use that word? Like, even like in high school and stuff like that?
I think I did, but I always felt weird about it.
Yeah, like I have no problem saying like, that's my friend, or like closest friend.
Yeah.
Because even today when I was introducing you to people, I was like, this is my closest friend, one of my closest friends. I just didn't use that term.
I always felt like when other people use that word for another person, it made me feel bad. It's like, oh, I'm not your best friend. Damn. Okay. And so I was just like, oh, okay. So I never want to make people feel a certain way. And it's like everyone's relationship with me is different. Yeah. Everyone brings something out of me that the other person doesn't, or we all have our own inside jokes that I don't have with other people.
Right.
So I can't say that someone is my best friend, but I have a wonderful relationship with all of my friends who are close and dear to me. And so in high school and whatever.
Did you have a clique?
Yeah. It was people that
I only
I
had
hung
one
out
clique.
with. Like, I hung out with a couple of people just in general. And then because I was a majorette, that was another different clique of people that I hung out with.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like that even in college. I had a clique of friends. Now, I don't think I have a clique anymore.
Well, I would think you would still have a clique because you still have your separate group of associates and or friends.
Right.
So you, like, I know me, like I said, I always had, when I think of clique, I guess I'm thinking about like school friends when I think of clique. And so that was ninth grade. That was me, Kira, Asia, and Brittany. And that completely disintegrated. The clique did. Like, we were either still friends or still would talk occasionally. But, like, the four of us were not with each other anymore. And then from there, I had individual friends. Because even then, like, Monique, you and I went to different high schools. And I was like, Monique's coming with me to my high school reunion because I don't talk to none of these people, you know.
Right.
But I was with Larry 10 years later, so
There you go.
he came with me to my reunion. But other than that, I told Monique, like, senior year, I was like, you come with me to a high school reunion because I don't really have, like, no clique of friends no more.
Right.
Or whatever. But, like, I was cool with individual people. But even with, like, you know, now that I think about it, even when I was a little girl, I had individual friends.
Sorry, just yawned.
Yeah. Is that margarita kicking in?
A lot of things. Sleep.
But I always had individual friends. But, like, I would think now, even though you have your improv group, you have your theater group, you have, like, your girlfriend group. So I guess it is, like, cliques, but it's not that one core group of people that you call all the time, like, we're doing this.
Yeah. It's more of like associates and friends that I have similar interests with.
I definitely have individual friends.
And more of like, right now, I think at age of 33, I'm looking for those people because I'm so career minded right now. I love meeting new people all the time. I love meeting people that I'm goofy with because that's just where home is.
Goofy and silly. Goofy and silly for sure.
But I'm more into like, okay, you got a career, I got a career path. How can we help each other? How can we connect? How can we collaborate?
Okay.
How can we move each other forward, especially as Black people? I am so about...
You're very about your community, whether it's Black or women.
Yes, I'm very about seeing how can I help you advance yourself.
Yeah.
How can you help me advance myself? Even if we don't have anything that we can connect on, even if it's simple as sharing something that you did on Facebook or like shouting you out, like how can I be a part of that with folks? So
like... Okay. I know, like I said, I had individual friends, and I completely forgot that my individual friends or individual groups of friends don't mix. It's like oil and water, seriously. Like, I was reminded of that from my wedding. And, like, Monique was a bridesmaid, and some of my other closest friends were bridesmaids, and my cousins were bridesmaids, and I had 2 sister-in-laws that were bridesmaids, and it hit me in the middle of the planning that I was like, Erin, your friends have never liked each other. Now, I'm not talking about these group of women, but the history of my friends, my individual friends, have never gotten along for whatever reason with each other, like, never. And I was reminded for my wedding. Like, towards the end of the wedding, like, the vibe that I was getting from y'all was like, I'm just here for Erin. Whatever makes Erin happy.
At the end of the day, when you're in a wedding party, that's what it's about for me.
True.
I've only been a bridesmaid twice now in my whole lifespan.
Yeah.
I've never been in any wedding, not even as a flower girl. But I'm just like, you're there for... I'm your friend. I'm here for you. your head is already in 10 different places. And
Yeah.
because I was a bride
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you were a bride,
Right.
that also made me aware to like where your head is at. You're like, is this going right? Do the DJ have the music that I want?
And
Is
see, I
this
had
happening?
two.
Is
Well,
that happening?
out of my active bridesmaids, active, I mean people that actually like did stuff. There were two brides. That was you and Cherese, and then it was Whitney that she wasn't married. But my mistake was being like, once again, I completely forgot that like my friends never really were, never mixed the history. But it was like, these are all my fun friends. So y'all plan this and get things together and this and that. And then after a while, I was just like, personalities, temperaments, carefreeness, stick to the schedule.
I feel like how you say that though. It's not like any of us ever threw hands or had arguments.
No, y'all
or
didn't.
anything like that. It's just like in the histories of this. Yes, we all have different personalities, and certain people are A types and B types,
Yeah.
and certain people are perfectionists and
Yeah.
not, or whatever. But I don't think it was ever a situation. It was never, for me, speaking, it was never
Yeah.
a situation of like, oh my gosh, this person is getting on my fucking nerves.
No, I don't.
And I need them to chill out.
Yeah.
And whatever. It was never like that.
I don't think it
But
ever was like that, but it was
yeah.
just like, okay.
Everybody different. and see me, and this goes back to the before of like learning how to speak to white folk.
Oh, white folk.
White folk. I know how to get along with everybody.
Yeah.
Every type
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
personality type. I'm just like, okay, let me fall back. It's certain stuff I was like, no. We need to go do this bounce class.
Yeah.
Because we need to get our twerk on.
The bounce
I
class
was
was fun.
hard up about that.
I will say this though, when it came to my wedding and my different friends that I put in charge of fun activities. Once again, I'm gonna take it back. I was just like, these are my fun friends. They can get shit done. So y'all come up with it. But I will say this though, like everybody, the people that actually play and stuff was giving each other props. Like it was like, Monique is really good at like hosting, or like Whitney's really good at like finding good, reasonable deals. And, you know, like it was like that type of stuff or whatever. But damn, what was my point? Where was I going?
We all have our strengths.
You all have your strengths. Oh, that's what it was. But it was like, each friend has a different side of me. Like me and you are more silly and goofy. Me and Whitney are silly and goofy, but not in the same way as you. Me and Cherese are like silly crack joke, but it's different ways. So like the other thing was like, everybody was like, I know what Aaron wants. But the thing is, it's like, I wanted all of that. Every single one of like, but it was still like, coming together. But yeah, I just got a big reminder, and I told Mom, I was like, Mom, I just completely forgot that like I have individual friends, and them chicks normally don't like, given the history, they normally don't like each other. Or
I never said.
I never said.
I'm not throw
saying
this out there for the other
I'm not
people that
saying-
Aaron's talking. Hold on, be quiet, Aaron. Because I don't want nobody listening to this and thinking that I said something bad about anybody.
Monique never said nothing bad about anybody.
I never said nothing bad about anybody.
And
I don't know if y'all said nothing
that's
bad
why I
about
keep
me.
saying history. In the
But
history,
I
I'm
never had
33.
no history with them.
No, not you.
Okay,
in
all
general.
right. I'm just needed that to be said.
I'm just
It ain't
saying,
me.
in the history of all of my individual friendships, there's always been some sort of clash. I'm not saying that everybody didn't dislike each other. And this
Making
is
sure you wouldn't talk about me.
No, I'm
'Cause
not.
This is my episode.
This is your episode. No.
And so I don't want you to
No. I'm not talking about Monique. I'm just
saying.
saying, in the history of my friendships, I'm 33 years old. I've had friends that have clashed. Some that are like, I don't like her, and I have to be like, don't talk shit about my friend, this and that or whatever. You don't have to dislike her, but you're not finna talk noise, this and that. I've had to do that and everything, but it just hit me when I got married, and I was like, dang, Mom, I forgot that I got individual friends, and I didn't think this through. But anyway, I get anxiety when I meet my friends' friends.
Really?
Yeah, because people either like me or they don't. And so it's been situations where it's like, oh, we cool. And it's been situations where it's like, they don't like me, or I'm in a situation where I'm like, I don't feel comfortable here with your friends and this and that. So like I get anxiety, some form of it. I'm nervous. One of the basketball moms, her son played basketball, and Larry on the same team as Nicholas, and Larry coached that team. And just me and one of the moms got real cool. It was her birthday, and she was like, come on over to my auntie's house. We have like the family and some friends. We're going to have a crawfish boil. And I prayed the entire way over. I was like, this girl, me and her are cool, and I don't want no problems. Don't let me say that it's going to offend somebody. I really had that prayer, because it's been instances where it's like everything is cool, and other times it's just like everything just goes straight bad. So I really get nervous. Normally when I go places, I normally bring Larry, because everybody likes Larry. Everybody likes Larry. So I just be like, oh, here's my husband Larry. He plays football and all other types of sports, and he sells beer. And he makes yes, and wine. They distribute wine, and then there you go. Everybody loves Larry. So that's usually my defense mechanism. But
I don't think I
get
that
nervous.
problem.
I do.
I love meeting new people.
People think I look funny. I like meeting new people too, but sometimes they don't like me, and I'd be like, well, what I did to you? All I did was blink.
You blinked.
Apparently I blinked wrong or something.
Yes,
it's like, okay.
You did. I believe you did, Aaron, and I'll bring that up later.
What?
But no, like I never had that problem where I felt weird about meeting new people. I feel like new people don't like me in a sense of that I'm lame.
Oh, I feel like I'm lame.
Had this conversation before we both
I've been
feel
told
like
I've been lame. And I'm like, oh.
But forget you then. And as I got
then you have
older,
a lame, and that's lame too. Forget you then.
Right.
Lame.
You wasn't cool, no way.
Yeah.
But it's basically like that. Like, I feel like sometimes because I've always been like, or at least I felt like I was never the cool person in those cliques that I supposedly had.
Me too.
I never felt like I was the cool one.
Me too.
I felt like
I always had popular and cool friends, even up until college.
Right.
Always had. Like Whitney, everybody knows her. All the dudes try to talk to her. The ones that weren't trying to talk to me. Everybody likes her. Everybody's cool with her. Everybody's cool with her.
I was the same way. And I felt like everybody tried to talk to my friends other than me. And somebody just straight up told me I was too tall. And I'm not even that tall. I'm 5'6". But at the time,
I would like to.
I was like, you tall.
Really?
You tall as
Was
hell.
that high school, Monique?
Yes, it was. But I was the same height in high school that I am now.
Word?
But it's like,
I think I've just gotten taller.
You're too tall. I'm like,
I've
what
gotten
does that
taller
mean?
since high school.
Okay. But I just think, I don't know. I don't feel anxiety. I just think I like meeting new people, and I just want to find a commonality. And then I'm like, no, I don't get along with you. That's fine.
And you know what? Like, I don't like being forced. Like, okay, with the wives and girlfriends club, meeting my husband's friends' wives and girlfriends. So me and Cherese is around the same age as Larry. They're friends, but also the man Cherese ended up marrying played football with Larry, Nico. Played football with Larry, and him and Larry are friends. So it's like they have individual friendships with each other. And then, so like when we met, it was straight up faking. Hey, girl, she had a 1-year-old baby. I was young in college. I don't care about babies. But I'm like, your friends, this is my husband's friend and his wife. These people are important to him. So, hey, girl.
This is a little fake smile.
So he's walking, and she was faking it with me too. It was just like, but over the years, her and I have developed a friendship outside of our relationship with our husbands. We recently went to Punta Cana. There were 2 wives there. One of them I had met before, but it was always in group settings. Throughout the years, it's always group settings. This was our first time hanging out with each other. And then there was one wife that I had never met before, but I knew of. But we had never met. So I was kind of nervous because I was like, this is the first time like me and Tisha going to be hanging out together. Although we've hung out in groups before. This is the first time me and Toya have ever met. About to be a week in Punta Cana, but it was all good. But it wasn't forced. There was a girlfriend that I felt forced to talk to, and that didn't go good at first. The second time we met, she was like, well, I was a little, like nervous about it because the first time, and I was like, girl, let me tell you what happened. The reason why I was like this. And it was all cool, but that's because I felt forced.
It's funny. When I was in Cancun, I went to Cancun recently for a family member's wedding, and so most of these people are Kyle's family and classmates and whatnot, and people that he knew. So I'm up here like, okay, who I need to see. And I met one girl, Christina, who I was very, we got along very well. And so we were acting silly and drinking and whatever. And then so at the wedding day, it was another girl sitting by herself. I didn't know who she was, whatever. She was like, she said something to the effect of, I strike up small talk with whoever I'm around.
Right,
to
me
see,
too.
You know, how they gonna
just
take
what's up.
You know, and so I was talking about, I'm holding Kyle's jacket and another groomsman's jacket. Like,
Don't you hate being dropped off at the wives' table?
Right, and so she was the same way.
That.
And she was like, oh yeah, I'm holding his jacket. I was like, okay, who are you? I don't know who you are, with which groomsmen you're with, because I know all the groomsmen except for like maybe one or two that I wasn't that familiar with. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, who are you? Who are you with? Okay. And so then after a while, we were like chatting a little bit. I was like, girl, we got like 2 hours until the reception actually starts. We about to go, because we were on a resort. You know, it's bars everywhere, free drinks. I was like, we about to go to this bar, hang out, whatever. And she was like, okay, I'm going to come with y'all. I didn't know this girl beforehand. But after that, like, we just struck up a conversation. We were talking about whatever, you know, what we do. She's from Florida and a pharmacist and whatever. And we just became, you know, associates through the resort or whatever. But it's just more of like, if you just take time to know people, and I'm not saying this for you, but like people in general, if you just take time to know people and find a commonality, it's just like you can really get along with anybody.
I just know my situation.
That's what I like doing.
I cannot be forced. And like, the one I was saying where it was kind of forced, it wasn't no kind of, it was forced. Like his, that particular friend, that's like one of his closest friends. And this is like the first girlfriend he ever brought around, like everybody. So it was important. So I was like, oh, I'm going to make an effort to be cool with this girl because I know Larry is, and the guy she's with is really close. But it was like, dude, I'm going to go talk to her when I talk to her. But because he kept being like, go talk to her, I was like, fine, where's she at? Hey, what's your name? Where are you from? How old are you? Okay.
Right. I can't be forced with it.
Yeah, so it started off bad, but luckily it was smoothed out. I was like, well, let me let you know, because I want you to know this is what happened prior to me being like, what's up?
Like you Martin. I was
like, hey, girl, what's your full name? Where are you from? So I can go back and tell Larry I talked to your ass. Like, that's how it was. But like I said, we smoothed it over.
Right. So it's like that, but it's like, I think why I'm so talkative with people and why I like strike up small talk conversations is because everybody isn't as like freely open with conversations as I am. And so some people might be genuinely shy. And for that girl in particular moment, like she came there with her man. She don't know nobody. And they do that. They will just drop you off in the wives and girls. Right. I went to one of Larry's associates and friends had a going away party for their brother at Applebee's, and like next thing I know, I'm sitting over there at the table with a girlfriend and another girlfriend. I was just like, don't you just love how they drop us off? And he's over there on the other side just talking to all the guys, and I was just like, I don't have to be here for this. Like, don't just drop me off. Like, come on, bro. Right.
Anyway.